maybe I should have.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. I'm Diane Ray, co-founder of MindBodySpirit.fm, and we've been doing these Meet the Podcasters Facebook Live events to introduce everybody to some of the amazing podcast talent that we have on the network. And today, I'm very excited to introduce you to a special guest, Kimberly Meredith. And Kimberly is a world-renowned celebrity medical intuitive medium. And we actually go back to Hay House days. I remember Kimberly from my Hay House days there. She had a book with us. She's also a global influencer, a miracle healer, and her podcast is the Medical Intuitive Medium Show. And on the show, Kimberly answers questions on your health, consciousness, emotional welfare, prayer requests, and she also delivers medical intuitive readings. And she is the real deal. I mean, she's been studied and everything. She's legit. So she uses her medical intuitive mediumship abilities to remotely detect medical or emotional situations. And she also connects listeners to loved ones on the other side. And she has special guests on her podcast. I mean, if you're not following the Medical Intuitive Miracle Show, you're missing out. Because this is a fun show. So Kimberly, welcome. And thanks for joining me today to talk about your podcast.
Thank you, Diane. I love being on Mind Body Spirit FM, and I love helping people, and I'm super excited being on here today.
Well, this is so great to introduce you to people who may not have heard about your work, may not have heard your podcast. I mean, you've got some fans from way back, but we want to be able to introduce you to some new people too. So for people that might not be familiar with your story and some of your experiences, you've had 2 near-death experiences where you had an incredible encounter with God and spirit. And actually, this was where you really received the gifts that you share today. So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about that experience and what happened.
Yeah, so I was born with abilities when I was young, and I pushed them down all my life, pretty much. I was in nursing, and I did a lot of service work throughout my life, but not like this. After my near-death experiences in 2012, I had a full-blown awakening, and I started becoming a full-blown trance channel psychic medium. And my healing abilities became full-blown awakened in 2015, 16, after the NDEs. And I had coded, flatlined. I had been hit by a car, and I crossed over. And after that, it took about those few years to recuperate. I started noticing the blinking in my eyes that I had when I was a baby, and started hearing the messages from spirit, and started learning how to communicate with the guides and the angels and what they had wanted me to do the rest of my life, because I was clinically, and the doctors had said I would be, for the rest of my life, disabled. They didn't expect that I would ever walk again, and they didn't expect that I would ever be able to really communicate. I had multiple injuries. And I feel that if the spirit and the guides did not start communicating with me, they taught me the sign language, they taught me to walk, they taught me how to communicate. And when I say communicate, I know some people think, well, maybe they taught me how to do light language. They taught me to communicate sort of like, if you've ever seen The Miracle Story with Anne Frank.
Oh, do you mean The Miracle Worker?
The Miracle Worker.
Right, right. That you mean the Helen Keller story, like how she was writing on Annie Sullivan's hand.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Like that.
Okay.
And I was literally in the wheelchair and learning to sign language and message with the guides. And so I didn't let what they were trying to tell me, the doctors, stop my work. And I didn't really understand at the time after the NDE that I would be doing this work. I just knew that I was communicating and felt more comfortable like I did when I was small with the blinking.
And what age were you when this happened? I'm just curious. But you were an adult.
Yeah, I was an adult, but when I was a child, I was communicating at 6 months old to 4 years old, healing animals.
Wow.
In
It's
about
amazing.
2017, I became a full-blown trance channeler, psychic medium, and started doing my work publicly in 2018.
Okay. So that's been, a few years that you've been doing this and
Okay.
working with people.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I've noticed that, when you say you receive messages through your eyes and it's blinking codes that you call them. And this is the way you communicate. That's your tool.
Yeah, just like anybody has a tool of communicating with their music or their writing I also am a writer. So it's just like how anybody has a way of communicating with spirit. That's the way that I communicate with spirit. I also hear them out of the left ear speaking to me. I'm not only a medical intuitive, I'm also a psychic medium. Not everyone that's a medium is a psychic, and not everybody that's a trance channel is a psychic medium. So, like um, the lady that wrote Seth Speaks, it's a trans channel. I'm a trans medium.
Right. So in that case, you literally, it is what it says. You go into trance and
Like
you
Edgar,
receive these, you receive these messages.
yeah, like Edgar Casey's was a trans channeler.
Right. And people may have heard of Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, I think they called him.
Yeah, Jane
So
Roberts.
incredible.
Yeah, so there's certain people that are trans channelers. So people take classes for me. I teach also, and I love teaching too. So my show, the Medical Intuitive Miracle Show, that people call in. When they call in, they ask a question, and I'm always in trance. I'm a awake trance channeler. I like to answer the questions on health and wellness, and also on love relationships, and also on anything you want to ask us. We don't necessarily have to see you because you're calling in. And I love to have guests come on the show too and help spread consciousness and health and wellness. So our mission here, because I came back from the other side, is to help spread consciousness awareness and help you awaken your own intuitive abilities.
And people can hear all of these stories, all your experiences on the podcast, and where you actually give healing and guidance to people that you're interacting with on the show. And, I wasn't aware that you are also able to do this with animals. Although, would you call yourself an animal communicator, or what would you say? Is there any difference?
Yeah. So I'm an animal communicator and healer. We teach. One of our guests that's coming up soon is Mari Castanova. She's an animal communicator, and we've both taught classes together. So I do animal communication and animal healing with my hands-on healing. And when you listen to we have a lot of shows that are archived on My Body Spirit. When you listen to the shows, you can actually receive a healing just by listening to the shows and getting information from the shows. So people that have listened to the shows, they can actually feel the Holy Spirit go through the body and receive healing. So yes, the guides are saying I am an animal communicator and animal and adult people healer and communicator, not Kimberly, the guides that work through me, which are the Elohim, the Holy Spirit, and a lot of higher ascended masters that work through me.
That's so interesting that it's kind of coming through you. So you're saying that when people are listening, so I'm listening to the podcast, and there can actually be an energetic transmission as that's happening. So maybe there's a healing that could take place then.
Absolutely. The minute that you come on to the Medical Intuitive Miracle Show, the guides say in the beginning of the show, welcome, you're into the fifth dimension. and get ready to experience an hour of miracle healing energy through your body. So the minute that you come on and you start listening to the show, you can start getting the activation through your body. And even if you're listening in the replay and you just sit and you listen, we always start with a meditation in the beginning of the show, and the guides do this. This is what they want. I follow what they want to do. I'm just a messenger of the show. And then we'll go on to do a lot of, if we have a guest, they'll come on and speak about what they want to give the energy to.
So would you say you've had the same guides all through your life? The same guides sharing information?
Great question. They're answering no. I've had particular guides. I've had my great grandmother with me since I was born, and I've had particular guides, but no, they settle on my left shoulder. They always settle on my left side of my shoulder, and new ones come in. And of course, I have over 17 guides that sit with me right now.
17, that's amazing. So would you say, people probably ask you this all the time, is there a difference between angels and guides?
Yes. And one of my favorite things is to help people find out who their main spirit teams are. And in fact, their main guide, their main archangels. And specifically, there's a guide for helping you with abundance, your work, your relationships, and helping us move into this great awakening right now. And many of them love when you call them on specifically, and some move in and out, and some are very, as you would say, they get territorial.
Oh, they do? They get territorial?
Yeah. And also, if a relative recently crossed over, they'll want to come in and take a forefront of the energy and want to be there. And you can really know the difference, especially if you're going through some heartbreaking, occurrence in your life and you need help, and a certain relative will come in, and I hear the relative will whisper in my ear when I'm working with a client, and I'll pretty much know right away what the needs are.
And it can kind of happen just on the fly, right? I remember recently we were having a conversation on the phone, and you asked me about someone who had passed away within the past year, and she kind of came through.
Right.
Someone that I had worked with, and it shocked the heck out of me. It was like, how did that happen?
They're soul connected. I often see numbers connected with the person that crosses, and I'll see like the 8, which means they were like a soulmate, infinity, very close to you. They're trying to come in and comfort you and be there for you right now. And I'll often have a lot of relatives that'll come in and want to help you with a specific task or journey that you need at the certain moment. Like if you need to move, or you need to start a new job, or something is happening, you're having difficult time, they'll come in and want to move another guide away at that moment and help you with something that's particularly in need.
It must get busy sometimes when you're doing the show. You're getting everything ready for and people can hear it on the podcast. I mean, you've got all this input. People sharing information with you. Guides or angels.
It's a big community coming in. And now that I do a new thing called soul frequency numbers, and when a caller calls in, I can hear all the frequency numbers coming in and everything. But I love it. This is why I'm here, to help people organize their lives and help them move forward. And it's like the show's name, it's the Miracle Show. And the miracles are becoming a norm. And as we move into 2026 and 7 and 8, it's going to become more normal for people to adapt to this miracle energy, and helping themselves feel more vibrant and have a healing in their life can be easier for them and more energetic. And it's not hard for me to decipher all the guides and what they're speaking about.
So I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast that you're like the real deal. I mean, you've been through a lot of tests and had your skills and abilities questioned by some big people, like the IONS Institute of Noetic Sciences and Dr. Dean Radin. I mean, what was that like, going through some of those tests and exercises that they put you through?
I love working with Norm Shealy, and I loved working with IONS and SciTech. And I always ask the guides, wherever I go, whatever I do in my life, do you want me to go there? Is this good for the guides and us to do? And if they say yes, then I go. And if they don't want me to go, I don't go. And for me, I met a lot of really amazing people. I went through the process fast, and I felt that the Holy Spirit and the energies of the guides wanted us to do it. It went by super fast for me. I have to say the most interesting experience was with Dr. Norman Shealy.
And
And
people might remember him from his work with Carolyn Mace. He's been around for a long time.
he created the term holistic health. And he was an amazing man to work with. And he said, not everybody can be as great as us, Kimberly.
It's a rare group.
Yeah. And my brain is very fast, I think, because of what I had gone through with the accident and everything that had happened. And sometimes it would be faster than it was supposed to be. And sometimes he'd go, okay, slow down. I was going through a lot of the patients super fast and doing more than I was supposed to do. Even at Ions, they wanted specific things for me to say and do. And I would go through, I would know a lot in people's bodies, which I normally do know more than I should really know. And that is just the guides. They just thoroughly go through every single thing.
It must have been very validating, though, to be, because people are always so skeptical, and then to be able to demonstrate what you're doing and then have it, validated by a group of researchers. That must have been great.
It is. And I think what's important to know, Diane, which is very validating for us in the future, is that we can heal ourselves by our thoughts. And they're also researching right now at Ions, is what's in my book, is by chanting. Even Greg Braden just now put out in a video with Dean, chanting the vibration of I am healed, I am love, I am light, and oming, which is in the Awakening book that I have. This repetition of positive thought vibration can actually be seen on the MRI scans and things, the energy leaving the body, the negative energy, which is so cool. I'm getting chills right now again.
Well, I love sound healing, and I think there is something very powerful about, if you've ever gone to a kirtan or a chant. I remember seeing Krishna Das one time, and it's such a high to be in that room with everybody and people are chanting, and you really can feel that energy. So I can see where that's so healing to be in
Yeah.
that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming up on the podcast, people can go back and they can listen to all of your past shows, and hear some of the things that we're talking about and hear you demonstrating the amazing abilities that you have. And you've got some really cool guests. Now, you did mention that Marie Kartanova is coming up, and she's the animal communicator. And also another one of our MindBodySpirit.fm podcasters is going to be a guest, Elias Patras, and that'll be fun. That's coming up in May.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Are you excited to talk to him?
I am really, really excited to have him on. I get chills about having him on. I am so excited. Yes.
It'll be so fun. And then generally you have like open lines when you do your show, and people can go to your website and find out more about how they can call in.
Yeah, you just go to thehealingtrilogy.com and you just scroll down. You'll see Mind Body Spirit FM and all the information there about the open lines. Mm-hmm.
And then people can just be a part of the show, and they might hear themselves
exactly
in the next show.
Yes, and we do a lot of times we're doing like the healing during the show too, so it's really great.
So even if someone's trying to call in, if they're just listening, they can still, kind of get the ripple effect. Yeah, participate and get the benefit of the healing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's so incredible, the work that you're doing. And we're so excited there's new episodes coming up. I know you're kind of getting everything together at the end of last year, to get some new shows together, and now you're up and running. So it's exciting that there's going to be more new shows coming up. You've got more great guests.
I do.
In April.
I have Tim Shields, who has been the co-editor for Dr. Joe Dispenza for years, and he's coming on. And we've got New Living Expo producer Ken Kaufman coming, and some other amazing authors coming on. So super excited.
It is exciting. Well, I hope people go and check out all of your past episodes. You can find Kimberly on mindbodyspirit.fm, also your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, everywhere she's available. And thank you so much, Kimberly, for joining me today. It's been fun to talk with you.
Thank you, Diane. I'm honored to be on Mind Body Spirit FM.
Well, we're happy to have you. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. Till next time.